It was such a casual moment, just a relaxed interview. But the words, I mean, they just shattered fan expectations everywhere.
Exactly. One of pop's biggest stars just kind of subtly announcing she might be retiring from the stage.
And it all came down to one quote that launched 1,000 headlines. It might not happen again. We're diving deep.
Welcome to Starscope Report.
Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and the stories behind the fame, from red carpets to, social media controversies.
And today, our deep dive is all about Ariana Grande's The Eternal Sunshine Tour and what her recent comments really mean for her career.
So let's just start with the headline that caused all the panic.
Right. Ariana Grande confirmed the tour feels like and this is her phrase, a one last hurrah.
And the context here is just wild. This is a tool for 2026 promoting her 7th album, Eternal Sunshine.
But the key detail, the thing you have to remember, is the gap. This is her first tour since the Sweetener World Tour back in 2019.
6 years. That's a lifetime in pop music. A 6-year hiatus from the stage.
And, the signs were there if you looked. Back in late 2024, Republic Records was already denying tour rumors.
And she'd said it herself, right? In that Variety interview, she mentioned she wouldn't be touring anytime soon, that acting was the priority.
Exactly. But then came the quote that made it all feel so final. She was on the Good Hang with Amy Poehler podcast.
And she just drops this line. She says, I think it might not happen again for a long, 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 long time, so I'm going to give it my all.
That repetition of long, 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 that's what sent fans into a spiral. But there was a crucial piece that a lot of the headlines left out.
Oh, what was that?
She did add right after, for now.
For now. Okay,
Yeah.
so that changes everything. That's not never again. It's just not for a while.
Right. A lot of fans on Reddit were pointing this out, saying it was just misleading headlines trying to create a frenzy.
But the frenzy happened anyway. People really picked up on what they called the bittersweet finality in her voice.
Oh, absolutely. The reaction on X was just immediate. I saw one that said, I don't have tickets. There will be no brighter days ahead.
Wow. And another one was like, my life no longer makes sense. I'm going to listen to her music and cry. Bye. It was pure emotion.
Which brings us to the why. Why this big shift to acting? She even said that she's learned there can be room for different creative endeavors.
And acting is what she's inspired by right now. I mean, she has some huge projects lined up.
Huge. Wicked. For Good is out in November. And she's in that new comedy, Focker In-Law.
Part of the Meet the Parents franchise, yeah. So is this the end of pop star Ari and the rise of, Oscar-nominated actress Ari?
Well, the industry is already leaning that way. She's got nominations for her role as Glinda. We're talking Oscars, Golden Globes. The recognition is already there.
So it's a real pivot, a deliberate choice. And if this is her last hurrah, the ticket sales prove just how badly fans wanted to be there.
And that's where the real Hollywood drama unfolded.
Stay tuned. We'll dive into the shocking financial scale of this tour. We're talking coordination that rivals a Fortune 500 company, costing hundreds of thousands of dollars per show.
Welcome back to Starscope Report. Before the break, we were talking about Ariana Grande, basically hinting this could be her last tour for a very, very long time.
And that hint created the perfect storm for ticket demand. I mean, the numbers are just shocking.
The headline fact is this. 6 million users tried to get tickets during the pre-sale.
6 million.
They crashed the sites. And the resale prices, well, they shot up past $7,000 for some seats.
That is just unbelievable. And the tour was huge from the jump, right? They had to add more dates almost immediately.
Oh, yeah. 9 additional dates were added just during the North American pre-sale because of the demand. But London was even crazier.
How so?
2 million potential buyers just for the London pre-sales. They announced 5 extra shows for a total of 10.
It all sold out.
In 15 minutes. All 10 London shows. Gone.
So that's where the system just completely broke down. Ticketmaster and SeatGeek just couldn't handle it.
Not at all. Fans were reporting all these glitches, getting kicked out of the queue right as they were about to buy tickets at face value.
And then they're forced onto the resale market.
Where the prices were insane. We saw Los Angeles tickets going for anywhere from $780 to over $7,000.
And I heard New York and Chicago were even worse because of some resale restrictions or a lack thereof.
Exactly. It drove prices there even higher, which, it made a lot of fans ask a pretty valid question.
Why not just book stadiums?
Right. With a 7-year break and this massive fan base, why didn't she and Live Nation just book larger venues from the start?
That's a good question. It almost seems like they underestimated the demand, which feels impossible.
Well, it's either that Or maybe it was a strategic choice. If she's really trying to avoid burnout, maybe smaller arenas offer a more controlled, less punishing schedule.
That's an interesting take. The scarcity drives demand, but it also protects the artist.
And Grande did speak out about it. She said she was incredibly bothered by the high prices and confirmed she actually opted out of dynamic pricing to keep things affordable.
So she tried to prevent this, but the resellers and the system itself just steamrolled right over her.
And that's where the government got involved. This tour became a huge catalyst in the U.S. Federal Trade Commission's lawsuit against Ticketmaster and Live Nation.
The FTC, wow.
Yep. They sued, accusing them of bait and switch, advertising, junk fees, and cat. This is the important part, enabling brooders to just harvest massive amounts of tickets.
So if you're loving these Hollywood twists and industry shakeups, make sure you're subscribed to Starscope Report. We've got even crazier stories ahead on everything happening behind the velvet ropes.
We've covered the pivot to acting and the absolute pandemonium for tickets. Now let's get into the mechanics of it all, the sheer industrial scale of the Eternal Sunshine Tour.
Okay, so if the ticket chaos was that intense, I can only imagine what the logistics look like behind the scenes.
Mind-blowing is the word. This isn't just a concert series. It's a $200 million economic ecosystem.
200 million, it's like a major manufacturing operation.
It is. To put it in perspective, her last tour, the Sweetener World Tour, grossed around $146 million. This tour is projected to generate $45 to $60 million in supplier contracts before the first note is even played.
$60 million up front, just to get it started. What does that even pay for?
You're talking about mobilizing between 200 and 300 individual suppliers. Highly specialized firms for LED panels, audio, lighting, even catering.
So what does a single show cost to set up?
Each venue setup costs between $450,000 and $650,000. And that's just for the specialized equipment.
Just for the gear? That's insane. Can you break that down? Like what part of that is the sound system?
Okay, so the audio alone can have a budget of over $180,000 per venue. The big speaker arrays you see hanging, those cabinets can cost $8,000 to $15,000 each.
Each? Wow. And the lighting must be just as much.
Pretty close. A lighting budget is maybe $75,000 to $120,000. You're looking at 800 to 1,200 individual lighting fixtures. Many of those are moving head spotlights that cost thousands of dollars apiece.
It sounds like they're moving an entire factory from city to city. How do they even do that on time?
It's military-grade logistics. They have to transform an empty arena in about 6 to 8 hours. That takes a coordinated fleet of 15 to 20 trucks and crews working these intense 12-hour shifts.
And if they're late, I imagine that costs a fortune.
A fortune. Which brings up the immense risk of it all. They operate in what's called a zero-defect environment.
Meaning there's no room for error. At all.
None. A single equipment failure during that 90-minute performance could mean over $500,000 in lost revenue. You can just stop the show and do a retake like in a movie.
So how do they manage that risk?
Redundancy. Extreme redundancy. Tour managers maintain about a 15 to 20% redundancy level on all the critical gear.
So they basically have expensive backup equipment just sitting there waiting for something to go wrong.
Exactly. Duplicate mixing consoles, spare speakers, backup amps. It adds another $75,000 to $125,000 to the budget just for those emergency systems. It's the price you pay for a guaranteed show.
It really puts it into perspective. When she says she's taking a long time off, she's walking away from this massive, precise industrial machine.
Don't miss our next deep dive into celebrity finances. If you're hooked on the economics of pop, hit that subscribe button to keep uncovering the secrets behind the stars.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the main takeaways from our deep dive into Ariana's tour.
We started with the quote. The realization that she's deliberately pivoting to her acting career, which is already earning her major award nominations.
And that she won't be back on a global tour for a long time.
Which then created that unprecedented ticket demand. 6 million people, resale prices over $7,000, and it all became a centerpiece in that massive FTC lawsuit against Ticketmaster.
And finally, we looked under the hood at the tour itself. This $200 million economic engine that requires just extreme logistical precision to run every single night.
And we know she's committed to finding a new balance. She has a new team since splitting with Scooter Braun, and she's focused on film.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you. Could this one last hurrah actually redefine success for an artist? Is creative satisfaction and winning an Oscar more valuable than the punishing grind of a global tour?
And in a world where there's a $200 million machine just waiting for her, how long really is a long, 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 long time in Hollywood years?
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.